Vegan, because we don't want to cause pain.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Inside a cave in a narrow canyon near Tassajara, the vault of rock is painted with hands. A multitude of hands in the twilight, a cloud of men's palms, no more. No other picture. There's no one to say. Whether the brown, shy, quiet people who are dead intended, religion or magic, or made their tracings in the idleness of art. The native Esselen people of North America continue watching to find out more.
Shagong is hello in Mohawk, one of the languages spoken by the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy. Earth-loving viewers, I'm Barry. The pure-hearted people of the United Haudenosaunee thank you for giving us hope regarding a brighter future for our planet. Welcome to our program, the Native Esselen People of North America.
Inside a cave in a narrow canyon near Tassajara, the vault of rock is painted with hands. A multitude of hands in the twilight, a cloud of men's palms, no more. No other picture. There's no one to say. Whether the brown, shy, quiet people who are dead intended, religion or magic, or made their tracings in the idleness of art. But over the division of years, these careful signs manual are now like a sealed message, saying, look, we also were human. We had hands, not paws. All hail. You people with the cleverer hands are supplanters. In the beautiful country, enjoy her a season, her beauty, and come down and be supplanted, for you also are human.
The poem Hands we just listened to is about the palm imprints found in the caves of Tassajara, which is situated deep in a mountain valley in the secluded Ventana wilderness of California, the original home of the native Esselen people. The imprints of the palms were made by these people more than 3,000 years ago, and are likely to have either religious or magical significance, as curious U.S. poet Robinson Jeffers wondered. Close to 250 skeletal-looking handprints are present on the rock wall, with each tracing the outline of a hand and filled in with long streaks of color. The imprints point in all directions, with fingers outstretched, reaching out to something. Indigenous paintings, along with additional art forms featuring hands, can also be found in other parts of the United States of America and around the world. For example, a cave in Mexico contains dozens of hand imprints, most of which were made by children dating back more than 1,200 years ago, and are believed to be part of an ancient Mayan ritual. Red ochre handprints and stencils that were probably painted 31,000 years ago during the Ordination culture can be found in chambers throughout a cave in Chauvet, France. In Argentina, Cuevas de las Manos contains hand paintings made around 9,000 years ago by the indigenous inhabitants, possibly ancestors of the Tehuelches, a native people from Patagonia. And in Borneo, more than 1,500 negative handprints, possibly made 12,000 years ago, were discovered in 30 caves in the remote region of East Kalimantan. The images in the caves of Tassajara made by the Esselen people were so thought-provoking that they inspired Robinson Jeffers to compose these deep verses. Jeffers is considered an icon of the environmental movement. The word inhumanism was coined by Jeffers, as he felt that humankind is overly self-centered and too indifferent toward the astonishing beauty of things. Jeffers' succinct messages assert that modern-day humans should not despise these palm imprints by the Esselen, as they were also human, and that people should be one with nature and enjoy the pristine beauty of the Tassajara without damaging it. One should not look down on one's primitive ancestors as being barbaric and uncivilized, but instead bear in mind their relentless struggles for civilization and continued betterment of one generation after another. Civilization and progress are purely relative. So who exactly are the Esselen people? They are an indigenous American group whose language is part of the Hokan language family and are native to the Santa Lucia Mountains south of the Big Sur River in Big Sur, Monterey County, California. They used to live both on the coast and inland depending on the season. Men wore little clothing or were bare most of the time, while females may have worn a small apron, and in cold weather they may have applied mud to their bodies to keep warm. Throughout most of the year, the Esselen girls would gather acorns and other items from the forests to make into food. Their staple foods consisted of seeds of many varieties. The Esselen traded acorns, salt, baskets, beads, and other commodities with local tribes. The Esselen are a small tribe with customs similar to those of other California Native American tribes. However, they have different beliefs. To the Esselen people, many things such as the stars, trees, rocks, and minerals have power and are alive. They believe that rocks have memory and honor them by leaving their handprints on rocks. Forward-thinking viewers will now pause for a moment to hear a brief message and return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Vegan, 'cause we can halt climate change.
Welcome back to our program on the indigenous Esselen people of North America. The huts that the Esselen people lived in were commonly found along the coast of California and were made of tule reeds. It was the women who wove the reeds tightly together to create the houses for protection against rain. But such huts are prone to be blown away by strong gusts of wind. The Esselen girls wove baskets to carry acorns that they gathered from the forest. The acorns were crushed or mashed using a mortar and pestle. Evidence of this still exists, where a large boulder with more than a dozen deep mortar bowls, known as bedrock mortars, were hollowed out by the prolonged grinding of acorns into flour over many generations. The Esselen used split clapper sticks that were probably made of elderberry wood to make music instead of using drums like other tribes. Other musical instruments used included flutes and whistles. It's not certain how the name Esselen came about, but some say that it comes from the name of a major native village, most likely Esselen, or a place called Esselens, which might have been near the current site of the Mission San Carlos. The village took its name from a tribal location called Esselen, meaning the rock, derived from the phrase Shwe Luxoni Ioni, which means I come from the rock. The rock probably refers to the 110-meter tall promontory where the Point Sur Lighthouse is located. Esselen is a language isolate, a language that is unrelated to any others. There were about 500 to 1,000 speakers of Esselen before the introduction of European culture. Jean Le Perreuse, French explorer who visited Monterey in 1786, wrote in his journal that the country of the Ecomacs or Esselen extends above 20 leagues to the southeast of Monterey, and that their language is entirely different from their neighbors and had more of a resemblance to the languages of Europe than to those of the Americas. Today, about 460 individuals are identified as descendants of the original Esselen people. The native Esselen people inhabited the Upper Carmel Valley, the harsh, rugged, densely forested Santa Lucia Mountains, and Ventana Wilderness area. The rugged terrain influenced their way of life, patterns of settlement, and survival strategies, as well as affecting their trade and communications with their neighbors. Dr. Randall Milliken, an ethnohistory specialist, estimates that the Esselen territory covered approximately 1,942 square kilometers, including Sahintarik, and was comprised of 5 districts, namely Esselen, Eslanahan, Imunahan, Ekehan, and Aspasniahan. The Esselen lost their ancestral lands around 2.5 centuries ago, and now have regained custody of part of these lands in Big Sur. The sacred land was returned to the Esselen tribe of Monterey County, or ETMC, with help from the conservancy group Western Rivers Conservancy, or WRC, which purchased nearly 1,200 acres, or 485 hectares, about 8 kilometers from the ocean inland in the Big Sur area at a price of $4.5 million through a grant from the California Natural Resources Agency. The intention is to find a long-term steward to conserve the natural habitat. The purchased land is known for its giant redwoods and is a favorite nesting area of one of the world's largest flying birds, the California condor. ETMC will be preserving the area and all of its inhabitants, including the endangered California condors, red-legged frogs, and other animals, as well as protecting the Little Sur River and its steelhead trout. Tom Little Bear Nason, tribal chairman of the ETMC, said the following in a statement.
It is with great honor that our tribe has been called by our ancestors to become stewards of these sacred indigenous lands once again. These lands are home to many ancient villages of our people, and directly across the Little Sur River sits Pico Blanco, or Pichi, which is the most sacred spot on the coast for the Esselen people and the center of our origin story. We are going to conserve it and pass it on to our children and grandchildren and beyond.
Yes, my grandfather. Yes, my grandmother. Thank you for this day and for my life. We pray for the deer and the birds and the fish and the lizards. Great Spirit, purify our body and our soul. Yes.
Congratulations, Esselen Tribe of Monterey County, for regaining ownership of your sacred ancestral lands. A big thank you goes to the Western Rivers Conservancy for facilitating the deal and to California Natural Resources for your kind generosity. May God bless and love you always. Wonderful viewers, we're grateful for your company today during the Native Esselen People of North America. Up next is Shining World Compassion Award recipient Project Postcard, right after Noteworthy News. May you be forever in the Creator's merciful sight.
Vegan Side Effect. Could be more creative with new ideas.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/CTAW.